I plan every hour of my day in my calendar. You don't get what you want, you get what you have to have. In 2007, my father killed himself.
So if you would just introduce yourself, I'll introduce myself, we'll rock and roll.
Awesome. My name's Brandon Carter. I teach personal trainers how to grow their online fitness business. I've had over 15,000 students over the last, call it 7 years. And I started doing online training myself in like '09. I was in the first class of people who were doing it. Like, we had to invent it. There was no game plan. I was able to build like a multi-7-figure business just doing online training, and then people started asking me how to do it.
So let me ask you this, man. Can you give me an example of like why you started doing what you're doing?
What happened was in 2007, my father killed himself. Like, he shot himself in the head. And I was in a position where I had to take care of the whole family. And, you know, he didn't leave us nothing but problems that I had to solve. I was like 24, and now it's time to be like the man of the house.
Yeah.
And it was right before the economic collapse of '08. I had a college degree and I couldn't even get a good job. Especially during that time, we had record unemployment. It hadn't been that low since the Depression. And what I was doing was, in order to take care of my family, I just started working a lot. So I had always been a personal trainer. I'd always been training people. So I would wake up at like 4, train people in the morning, shower at the gym, then I would work security at the Prada store for like 8 hours. And then after that, I worked for a moving company, and that was like 5 days a week, right? And on the weekends, I wake up early, it's like 4, train people, and then I managed a restaurant in Queens. And these were like 12, 14-hour days, 7 days a week. I did that for like about 2 years. I mean, my mom was in a position where, you know, she needed some help. You know, I could have just cried or been like a bitch, but I don't know, I just said it was time to step up. But it was draining. I couldn't see a path out. And, you know, I had always read a lot. So I had read a marketing book. It was called The 4-Hour Work Week. And he was talking about selling stuff online, which was a super novel concept back then. I was like, all right, I was thinking, what if I could train people online? And like, nobody was doing it, right? There was some other people who started trying to do it at that same time. We were all like the pioneers.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of trial and error, but I was eventually started to get some clients and started to figure it out. And I started making enough money to replace like one job, then another job, then I started doing it full time. Over the course of a few years and a lot of trial and error, we built that to like a 7-figure business. And then, I built up a large social media at the time on YouTube and Instagram. And people were asking me, how do I do it? You know, enough people ask you, then it's like, all right, I'll start teaching it.
I want to point something out there. Your back was against the wall, right? You were operating out of necessity. So I respect the hell out of that, because everything that's actually gotten done the right way has been out of necessity. Like, back is against the wall, like you burn the ships. I hate the situation you went through, but like, think about like what kind of man that made you today.
Yeah, no, it made me grow up super fast.
Yeah.
And to your point, I always tell people, man, you don't get what you want, you get what you have to have. It's got to be a must. If it's just a good idea or something you kind of want, you're probably not going to accomplish it. But if you have to have it, I've never seen anybody fail when they go all out.
I agree with that, man. Yeah. It's like, literally, it's life or death. It's like everything in life is a mission, and it's like, I will not be another nobody on this planet.
But you know, it takes a lot of sacrifice. When I say most people don't want it bad enough, it's because there's something they have to give up to accomplish like a big goal. There's something. You're always gonna have to give up something. If you think about all the goals you didn't accomplish, what weren't you not willing to sacrifice to accomplish that goal? Because if you don't sacrifice for your goals, the goals become the sacrifice.
Would you, let me ask you this, man, because one thing that I really noticed about young professionals and salespeople and business people is they have specific fundamentals in place. Would you correlate success to people's ability to stick to their fundamentals and their non-negotiables when it comes to doing what you say you're going to do every single day, not breaking your own word to yourself? Like, is that important to you?
I've met people who have become successful who didn't have like a diligent like lifestyle.
Yeah.
Where they wake up early or they do this, that, or that. But what they do have is they're dedicated to the mission.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about, with, not to change the subject too much here.
It's all good, man.
Is investing, right? I have a company called Vault Group. What we do is we help entrepreneurs, business owners, just individuals, real estate investors. We help you get your whole legal structure set up, your LLC, your trust, your holding company. We help you get business funding. We help you save money in taxes and stuff like that.
Awesome.
So I want to ask you, do you invest any at all? Like, what are your investment vehicles?
The majority of my net worth is in the stock market.
Okay.
You know, and I don't have any crypto. I invest in the crypto ETFs, the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETFs. I like stocks. I can do a lot of stocks and options because I can do a lot of interesting things that I can't do it if I just bought the crypto that I'm aware of. There's definitely other ways to make money off crypto with DeFi, but I just know the stock market a lot better.
Yeah.
And I own some real estate. So I have some Section 8 properties.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How many do you have?
Man, I got about 5 right now, but the vast majority of my net worth is in the stock market.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. The reason why I love real estate so much is I was able to take a credit card, liquidate the credit card, put it down on a piece of property, and create $700 a month in passive income plus equity. It was none of my own money, and I realized that there was a hack in the game. So then I was able to scale that out. Now today I own 14 units.
Awesome.
And people think for some reason that to buy real estate and to get into real estate that you need all this liquid cash, you need all this money. But more than anything, you need willingness and you need to make a decision. When people make the decision, the mechanics kind of just figure themselves out. Like you got to just make the decision first. And then after you do that, then you got to get with people that have been there and done that. And then that's what we do, right? So we help people like really just utilize and leverage business funding. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man, there is a scam out there and it's called working for hourly for money. Like that's a scam.
Yeah.
Like trading your time for money, it's not an even trade-off.
When you change the time for money, there's a limit on how much money you can make because it's only so many hours in each day.
Right.
And I'd rather get paid off results. So I feel like anybody who really wants to improve their life, they got to transition from getting paid for their time, transition to getting paid for their results.
100%.
Yeah, because then the ceilings disappear. And that was one of the reasons why online training was so much more lucrative for me than it was in-person training. Like to your point, because when I was training people in person, I'm getting paid by the hour. It doesn't matter how good you train the motherfucker, right? When I moved online, the people are working out and they're following their diet plan on their own, but my job is just keep them accountable, make sure that they get a plan that works. But they don't care how long it takes me to help them get the results. All they care about is the results. That business model allowed me to actually help more people accomplish their fitness goals, charge them less, and make a way better income for myself, right? Because now I can get way more clients. And that was the key to be able to move to where I'm getting paid for results as opposed to getting paid for my time.
What about the people that are like, man, it's just not the right time?
Every decision people make is they're either moving towards pleasure or away from pain, you know? And if they say that or any excuse, right, there's too much pain for them to go through, you know? And the idea of the pleasure side is not strong enough. Right. People who say stuff like that, sometimes they just have it too good. You know, it's easy. It's more difficult to actually chase your goals when things are all right, you know, when things are fine. The hardest person to train when I train people is the guy who has a wife already and already has, you know, a good amount of money. Like a rich guy with a wife is the hardest person to train because there's not enough incentive, right? He's not doing it for girls. He's not doing it to find a wife or to get a girl. And he's already rich, so it's not for money. There's not enough pleasure for him to run to motivate him. You're already rich and he's already got a wife. So those were the most difficult guys to train. The easiest guys to train was somebody who had just got broken up with or divorced or cheated on, because now they had fury. So it's really that. A lot of times when people are making excuses, it's things aren't bad enough for them. Some people will stay there forever. In fact, most people will stay there forever.
Man, let me ask you this. If you were just talking to like an entrepreneur, right, getting started, like how many followers do you have right now?
On Instagram, it's about 1 million. YouTube is 1.2 million.
So, you know, a lot of people are building their social media, their brand and stuff like that. What would you say is one of the key factors that have really moved the needle for you in order to actually explode your brand?
To grow your following, one, you gotta post consistently. Most people, they tell me, hey man, I'm trying to grow my following. And I say, how often are you posting? And they're saying, oh, you know, once or twice a week. I'm like, you're not really putting enough effort that's required. And it's for a few reasons. Some people say quality versus quantity, but I think quality comes from quantity. The way you get anything, the way you get good at anything is to do it over and over again, get feedback, and then you improve based off the feedback. And if you post every day, you go through that feedback loop more frequently, right? So somebody, if you're posting 7 days a week and I'm posting once a week, you get 7 opportunities to improve, right? Where I'm only improving, you know, once a week. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Dude, well, thank you so much for hopping on, man. I appreciate you so much. Let's roll, bro.